Alright, welcome back to Papa John's Pantry. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Questions, comments, reach out to me at papajohnspantry@gmail.com. So today we're making chicken cordon bleu. We're going to set up a few things first before we get going. We're going to get a bowl with like 2 cups of flour. We're going to crack up like 6 eggs. And we're going to use about 2 cups of breading, our Italian breading, because we're going to bread these bad boys. Chicken breasts, I'm going to show you how I process these. I got 2 very large ones that I'm going to cut in half, and I might have to pound out with a hammer. A good ham, and by good ham I mean it's a solid lunch meat ham, as opposed to like the chopped ham, where when you look at a slice it's all pieced back together. And then this just some Swiss cheese. Alright, so I want to get these bowls set up with flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs, and then I'll show you how we put these bad boys together. Alright, I'm putting 2 pieces of cheese on each one, so go ahead and open your cheese and stack it. So it was almost a whole package of cheese, and it'll be this whole pack of meat. But the reason why I'm saying that it's going to be about 2 pieces of full lunch meat on each sandwich. Say if you're only making 2 of these, you don't want to be touching your raw chicken hands with your leftover meats and getting everybody sick with salmonella. Okay, so because all this stuff, if you have eggs or breading or flour left over, you're gonna have to throw all this out because you don't want to get anybody sick afterwards. All right, I'm gonna set the camera up in the stand, and I'll show you how we start processing the breasts and breading these. Now, welcome back. I also got some wood and we might toothpicks out, because we might need these to hold them together. It all depends on how loose the chicken gets. Now would be a good turn, because we're going to pan fry these until an extent. Turn your oven on to 350. Alright, and this is something, I have a little video about cutting boards. You do not want to use a wooden cutting board for these, because they're porous and the chicken will get into the cutting board. So don't mind my dog in the background. You want to use either I don't like glass cutting boards either, because they kill your knives, or granite ones. So this is something you want to either, if you have a glass or granite one, just don't use a wooden cutting board. Alright, so we're going to take these and cut them in half. That's fine. Don't mind my dog playing in the background. So these are a little thick still. We're going to end up having to pound these down, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. So we're just going to cut these in half. Alright, once these are cut in half, I'm going to get some plastic wrap out, and I'll show you how to pound these out. Alright, so I'm going to do these breasts one at a time. I'm going to put the other 3 off to the side. And try not to touch too much with your chicken hands. I'm going to just cover them. I'm just going to cover it so it's not splashing chicken juice all over the place. And we're just going to try to level this out. You don't want to get too thin, but you want them to be a little stretchy and pliable. So this is if you have a meat hammer, this would be a time to get it out and do this with. And if you can, get these about like a centimeter thick. And if they do end up breaking, they end up breaking, because we're going to be rolling them up and breading them. And it doesn't really matter. It just, if you can keep them all together in one piece, it makes less work for yourself. For you beginners out there, I'm not saying this is a hard recipe. It takes, there's a lot of little steps to this. Like, getting the flour, the eggs beat, the stuff off to the side. And it's kind of a three-part. First you got to prepare these, then we got to fry them, and then we got to bake them. So from start to finish, this will take, I don't know, maybe about an hour and a half, depending on how fast you're going. Because once these, because we're going to cook the chicken mostly all the way in the pan frying process. But if, you know, depending on how, you know, you want to either cut one in half and make sure the chicken's all the way done, or they reach 165 degrees, because, you know, chicken's one of those things you got to cook the whole way. You can't serve it undercooked. Alright, so then that plastic wrap's going to be garbage. Alright, now we're going to build these. So we're going to take, I'm going to use about two, well, I'm going to use probably three pieces of lunch meat for each. It all depends on the size of the meat you buy. So I can't, you just want the meat to be covered. Same thing with the cheese. And then you're going to take these and you're going to roll them. And you're going to stick them together with a toothpick and then put it off to the side. Now if you break them up into little pieces, you might need several toothpicks, so don't, and just you can either pick them out before you serve them, or like this piece got four pieces of lunch meat in it, or just warn the people that you're serving that, hey, just be on the lookout, there's toothpicks. If you get the real long ones, like, just be careful, because those usually are like club frills and they have the plastic on them, and when they'll melt in the you know, you don't want melted plastic in the oven. So this one's being stubborn. All right, this one's kind of big, so I'm going to put 2 toothpicks in it, just to keep it together for when we brought them. Hey Jesse, can you come over here for 1 second? Here, can you grab the just, I'm not going to end up using all that lunch meat.
So what am I grabbing?
Just all the lunch meat off to the side, so I'm not, just take the whole container, so I'm not getting, thank you. So I can, you know, use it without Alright, so you're only able to see me roll up one of those. I've gone and I didn't know, my camera shut off because I ran out of SD card storage, so I apologize, and you only be able to roll them up. So some of these, let me just recap. Some of these, like if you end up getting like this, I'm gonna pick twice, toothpick twice, and that's fine. But you know that it is what it is. So I got these all rolled up. Then we're going to flour, egg, breadcrumb. I'm going to put them on a tray because then we're going to have to pan fry them. All right, so this is the messy part. You'll cover them in flour. Shake off the extra. You'll roll these around an egg. By the time you're done, your hand's going to be twice the size because it'll be all full of breading. And then bread. Now, skill-wise, these aren't the hardest thing to make. They take a while to make. So we're going to pan fry these. The chicken will be mostly done, but they won't be fully done. So we're going to bake these at 350 for about 30 minutes. Even if that's too long, these aren't going to overcook. I mean, you can't overcook them because if, you know, you check on them, but half an hour is certainly not going to be too much time where they're going to start to burn or anything like that. Forgive my dog, he's in the mood to play, which is fine. And so yeah, your finger's gonna get all, you're gonna get all gloppy. No, bless you, Silky. Stubborn. And if when you're beating your chicken, you know, it broke up, it's all good, because then you can just, I mean, you could put 100 toothpicks in these if you have to keep them holding together. Just make sure you warn people that, hey, there's some toothpicks in there if you're not able, you know, if you don't pull them out before you serve them. I mean, but you can also, you know, give them a couple minutes out of the oven, cool down, and then go ahead and take the toothpicks out, because you'll be putting these on the baking sheet, the toothpick side up, so they shouldn't be too hard to find. And then if you have the long toothpicks, just make sure if you buy like club frills that they're not, one, they're not plastic, and two, they don't have those riffly plastic end things on them, because those will just melt in the oven. Alright, so these are all breaded. I'm going to now wash my hands up, throw this stuff out, and I'll show you what we're going to do on the stove. Alright, I'll catch you in a minute. Let me wash up and clean up, pick up a little bit. Alrighty, so we're going to put about a centimeter's worth of oil in a frying pan, and we're going to heat this up over a low to medium flame. Alright, you don't want this to heat up too much. I'm going to take a little breading off that fell off my chicken. I'm going to put it in the pan, because when that starts to bubble, that means it's time to add the chicken. Alright, because you don't want to just put the chicken into the cold oil, because it'll just soak it all up and it'll be soggy and it'll just taste like grease. Alright, so once the little bit of breadcrumbs start to sizzle, I'll turn you back on and we'll get cruising. I'm not quite sure where in the video it cut off at when rolling the breasts. Turn your oven on, get it, now you can get your oven going now, 350, it won't take long to warm up, and I'll catch you in a few. So you haven't missed nothing. This will probably take a good 6 to 8 minutes to get to the right temperature, when you'll see those start to move around and boil. Alright, I'll see you then. Alrighty, my breadcrumbs are starting to dance around a little bit. They've moved around the pan, so this is gonna be good to go. I'm gonna put my chicken on the burner over here, and if at any point this starts to smoke, turn it off. You got your flame too high, and then you need to turn it down. Alright, so I'm going to put these in here with tongs. And we'll flip them a couple of times. About 4, one on each side. Kind of pretend they're square. And we're going to let these sit on each side for about 5 minutes apiece. And I know it seems like a lot, but I mean the chicken's thick, and you know, you gotta fry it the whole way around. These do take time, but they're delicious. And you might have to add more grease to your pan. And I'm just using a vegetable oil, nothing fancy, and none of that, you know, Nothing special with that end. All right, so I'll see you when I flip them. So you missed nothing other than me putting on some green beans for the meal. I have the toothpick side up because that'll be the last side I fry because I want these to set up first. Because that'll be the most, where you got the toothpicks will be the most fragile. So it'll be a nice crusty kind of U shape first, and then before we turn them upside down. So these have been cooking. You'll see the sides start to brown up in your pan. Just give them a, and if they stick a little bit, they stick a little bit. Not a big deal. We're going to cook them on their next side. And just keep another 5 minutes. Alright? I'll catch you then. And I already, you want to keep about a centimeter's worth of oil in here. About the same thickness of the chicken is how deep you want your oil. And so I have to, so just slowly add oil to get back to where you need to be. You don't want to add it too, you always want to keep the chicken sizzling, because if you add it too fast, the chicken will just start to suck up the oil. So, alright, they're on their side. As you can see, that the side we just did, the bottom, nice and golden brown. We're going to do that all the way around, about 5 minutes on each side. Yeah, so these aren't really hard to make. They're just more of a pain to make because they taste delicious, and they taste a lot better than those frozen ones where it's like they make like a chicken patty around the filling. Those are obviously a lot easier, but these are good. There's a lot of little steps involved from start to finish. All right, I'm going to do the third side. Like I said, just saving the toothpick side for last. And some of the like this. So some of the breading comes off, some of the breading comes off. The breading's not really what makes these. It's the ham and cheese filling. So breading's more of a way to keep them from being boring. But you'll lose some breading. So don't think if you do that, they're a lost cause. It's just, it is what it is. Serve that up on the bottom. There's nothing, it's part of the thing. It's part of what makes these homemade and not the frozen ones from the store. So these are going to get fried about 3 times. This one maybe 4. You want them fried all the way around. These kind of turn into almost like triangles. So so that's that. Just make sure you get all the way around frying them. Just try to get your toothpick side last, just because they'll be least likely to, unravel on you. All right, from here we're going to transfer them onto a baking sheet, and like I said, about half an hour, and then 165 degrees, or cut one open to make sure the chicken's white all the way through, because this is misleading. Now, because guaranteed you, if you cut these open, right around the hand, the chicken's going to be all gross. All right, so you have to bake these. All right, so I'm going to push these towards the back of the stove. I'm going to get a baking sheet. I'm going to spray this with a little pan. And we're going to transfer these. You want to transfer these pretty quickly. You don't want these to hang out in the grease because they'll just suck it up. I try to put these toothpick side up so if you can pull them out. And 350, half an hour. All right, they might need to go on a little bit longer. It all depends on how cooked up your chicken got. All right, I'll see you in half an hour. Alrighty, it has been half an hour, and let's get these bad boys out of here. Look how good these look, and they will. All right, if you want to, take the toothpicks out, and if you don't, just hey, John Smith, you got two toothpicks in your thing. So you know, that's up to you. I'll take a picture once it's cut open on the plate, but these are looking tasty. Thanks for watching.